What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the ridiculously ruthless Dr. Disaster, and right now, if you wanted to pick up a copy of Borderlands 3 on Steam, you could do it for as low as about $3.
Hey, this is too expensive for us.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this because I think it's a good deal or anything. As far as I'm concerned, with as awful as the writing was on Borderlands 3, a better use of your $3 would be giving it away to the bum on the street corner who you just know is going to use it toward buying some more booze. But on top of all that dog shit writing, you've got this story here, which has been circulating for the past month or so, where Gearbox is being called out due to the change in their end-user license agreements, which people have alleged basically turns old Borderlands games into spyware.
I cannot believe this shit!
Yeah, with the way that Gearbox operates, it's hard to justify buying their games no matter what they're charging. And then to make matters worse, the CEO of this company, Randy Pitchford, is somehow one of the most clueless people in all of gaming. For some reason, the dude just can't help himself. Randy Pitchford brings all kinds of negative scrutiny to his company when he opens his trap and says stupid crap like this. You may remember a couple months ago, there were questions about whether or not Borderlands 4 would be priced at $80, and he told gamers that real fans would find a way to buy it at that price.
That was not smart. That was not smart.
Well, the dude seriously can't seem to shut his mouth about this subject. He just got in trouble for saying this here. In response to Borderlands 3 going on this major discount, he noted that it took over 5 years for this to happen, and then he told gamers that it will take even longer for major sales to take place with Borderlands 4. And this pissed a lot of people off for a few reasons, not the least of which being the fact that in his previous post here, Randy made it sound like he wasn't in charge of the pricing. He made it sound like this sort of thing wasn't up to him. I'm sure that the PR team for Gearbox is thinking,
Just shut up!
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I've begun uploading some content over onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that site too. Also, give me a follow on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to my account at all times for your reference. But let's talk about this very stupid shit that Randy Pitchford said. We're gonna read both of these controversial posts and see how the dude tries to weasel his way around when navigating topics with the public. So, this infamous post here from a couple months ago was when someone asked him if Borderlands 4 was gonna end up being $80, and he responded that it was not his call. And then he told us that if we are real fans, then we would find a way to make it happen. Notice how the first thing that he did here was immediately try to deflect. A good leader, a good CEO, would throw his chest out and say with confidence that this is the way that things are, and that's that, and then he personally would stand by the decision and absorb the criticism. But no, not this chicken shit. His first instinct was to make sure that everyone knows that he's blameless. It's not up to him. But all that aside, here is the verbatim of what he just posted on X. He quote tweeted the official Borderlands account announcing the 95% off price, and he said, "Sales like this and Borderlands 3 showing up on console subscription programs took over 5 years from the game's launch to happen, take advantage when it's here, and to set expectations, it will be even longer before this kind of thing happens in the next cycle with Borderlands 4. So, first of all, this seems pretty contradictory when compared to what he said before. If it isn't up to him what the price is for their games, then how does he know that it will take even longer for Borderlands 4 to get a deep discount like this? Either he was full of shit with the first tweet, or he's full of shit now. And I think the obvious answer is that he was full of shit the first time. He absolutely has a say as to what the price of their games is going to be. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are people who have a say over the price as well. After all, this company, Gearbox, is now under the Take-Two umbrella, and they would certainly be able to weigh in on the topic, but Pitchford is the freaking CEO of the company, and ultimately the price of the only game of note that they're working on will be subject to his opinion in a big way. Could he be outvoted by other high-ranking executives at Gearbox or by Take-Two themselves? I'm sure it could happen, but he has a large say in what the price of these games will be, as demonstrated by his most recent post. He has control over what the games sell at to a large extent. I think that him saying that pricing isn't up to him was just his knee-jerk reaction to an uncomfortable situation. And as for the announcement itself, that Borderlands 4 will take even longer than 5 years to go on deep discount, this is utterly unsurprising due to the ridiculous budget of the game. Borderlands 3 cost over $150 million to develop, and Randy Pitchford announced a few months back that Part 4 had a budget of over twice that amount. So, in order to really profit on this project, to make a proper return on investment, they need to maximize the dollar amount for their sales, especially since it was announced that the game ended up being priced at $70 instead of $80. I think their original budget map for this game called for an $80 price tag. I'm certain that $80 was what they planned on pricing the game at, but gamer backlash was intense and Gearbox buckled under the pressure. Therefore, taking a longer time to go on sale seems natural, and I don't think people would be so annoyed at what he said if it weren't for the fact that there is some residual annoyance at the pricing of Borderlands 4 due to what this jackass said a few months ago. From Randy's perspective, I'm sure he's pissy that gamers rallied against him and pressured them into pricing the game down to $70 instead of $80, so this tweet of his felt like a dig, and I think gamers are pretty good at sensing that as well, which is where the annoyance comes from. After all, gamers are natural trolls. We know when someone is saying something with the intention to annoy us. With all that being said, Borderlands 4 is certainly on pace to sell a shitload of copies. They are a few months away from release, and the game already has about 100,000 followers on Steam. It's the 4th most wishlisted game on the platform, and it's the 128th bestseller. This is not going to end up like Assassin's Creed Shadows, to be clear. That game had a similar budget and needed around 6 or 7 million copies in sales to break even. Borderlands 4 will not struggle the way that Shadows did. It isn't an overtly woke game like Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I suspect their marketing will carefully ensure that it stays that way. But the question is whether their momentum will slow down as autumn approaches and other big-name games start coming out and bringing real competition. Borderlands had a really strong showing right when pre-orders launched because it is a massive IP with loads of die-hard fans. But will that enthusiasm persist? I have my doubts, especially if their moronic CEO can't learn to shut the hell up. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for the very stupid shit that Randy Pitchford says into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.